Well, hello, everybody, as you come in. Whether you come back and watch this or if you join us live via IG or our Facebook page or our YouTube page, just want to say thank you for tuning in and following Enrichment on the Go, and all of the content that we have for you as parents. We also have the podcast Enrichment on the Go. So, whatever content we have is always for parents. It's a go to resource for parents for you all to gain some understanding and knowledge of where your child is developmentally. And let me just talk about myself briefly. My name is Tanya Lofty. I've been in the early childhood education field for 17 years. I said it really slowly because I have to remember how long I've been in this field. All right. So 17 years. And so I always want to bring resources and tools to parents. And so that's why we have the Enrichment on the Go, the podcast and the YouTube channel. All right. Everything that we present to you all is for you as parents or for the children. All right. Just want to have great resources and great content for you all. And last month we did a video on what is your parenting style. And some parents just don't know what their parenting style is. Some parents are still trying to figure it out. But if you did not watch that video, please go back and just take a listen, all right? Because what we're doing here with Enrichment on the Go is my 17 years and my tenure in regards to early childhood education. We are using that along with my experience as a parent. Now, I'm a parent and I've been a parent for 21 years, all right? And so just want to kind of give you all a backstory so that you can understand. I also have a center called Loving Hands Enrichment Center. And so just want to give you a backstory about what the information that I'm giving you, that it is to assist you as a parent. All right. I've been a new parent, but I have also worked with so many families through the years. I can't count them anymore. All right. I have lost track of how many families that we've serviced through the years. However, we are always grateful because early childhood education is the catalyst for your child's education, not just academically, but social, emotional, all of that. Your social, emotional well-being of the child. It's the dynamic of the whole child. All right. Their critical thinking skills. Happy Monday, Wanda. God bless you so much. So all of this information is so that we can help you as parents, or maybe you're a grandparent, or maybe you know of a family who needs assistance. But oftentimes we negate the role that early childhood education plays in a child's life. All right. A child's learning, the first 5 years are the most formative years. And so this month's topic, I could not let a month go by without having a topic for you all. Is it okay for my baby to cry? Now, I was a new parent. I understand. You don't think your baby should be crying, but I want to give you some information and tools and tips as always, right? It's called Healthy Beginnings. I'm gonna just lift it up so that, but it's called Healthy Beginnings. And because you need to know how to support your child's development. I understand as a parent, you want to meet every one of your child's needs, but the way you go about it is what I want to discuss with you, all right? Because what are the child's needs? Not just your needs as a parent, but the child's needs. I want us to look at it from all aspects. That's why I do these videos, all right? So I can give you some tips. And the answer to, is it okay for your child to cry, is yes. Yes. Is it okay if my child cries, my baby? Yes. Okay. It is okay for your baby to cry. All right. And I am not talking about for excessive amounts of time. However, it is okay for your baby to cry. So I just want to talk about from birth to 4 months, because this is a part of their language development. That is the way that they communicate. How else is your child? They don't have language yet. The child has to tell you their needs. Each cry is different. And if you're a new parent, you may not know this, or if you want to have children, or you're a grandparent. Now, I love my grandparents. Shout out to every grandparent in America. All right. Grandparents, you know, are something to behold. So, it's okay. I just want everyone to know that it is okay for your baby to your baby or child to cry. This is a part of your child's learning how to, let me go keep going with birth to 4 months. All right. So there are different cries that your child will have. All right. So I'm not going to give you just my experience. I'm going to give you data, all right, and statistics to go along with my experience. All right. So listen, they cry to communicate hunger, pain, or discomfort. That's how your baby lets you know that something is wrong with them. So it is absolutely okay. I know parents, your hair may be sticking up on the back of your neck. It is absolutely okay for your child to cry. It is. I know it's a hard thing for you. I know you went through 9 hours of labor, maybe you went through 24 hours of labor. I totally understand that. Maybe your child was a preemie. Maybe your child wasn't gonna, they said your child wouldn't have made it. But I want you to understand that it has its place. All right. It is a part of their language. They may cry at loud noises or voices, and you just have to calm them in response to a gentle with your voice. All right. But I want you to understand that it is okay for your baby to cry. Now, I'm not talking, well, even when they take them out of the womb, they want them to cry. Why? They want to know that the lungs are developed. They want to make sure the doctor is going to make sure that your baby cries, right? Because they want to make sure that everything with the baby is functioning properly. So this is why I express this to you, parents, that it is okay for your baby to cry. I know. Now I'm going to talk to you personally. I was the first time mom who was left alone with the baby at 8 weeks in the home. And I'm thinking, what do I do with this child? I understand I was taking care of him, and me and my husband were, but what am I to do when this child cries? I'm crying, the child is crying. That's not going to solve anything, right? And as long as the child's basic needs are met, i.e., they're in a safe environment where nothing can hurt them, all right, where nothing can hurt them, where they've been fed, changed, clothed properly, it is okay if you walk away and your baby cries, all right? Because they're going to learn to self-soothe on their own. Your baby, I'm talking the baby now. Your baby's going to learn to self-soothe. Your baby needs to learn how to self-soothe, all right? They may just put their finger in their hands in their mouth, and that's going to happen, especially when they're teething. But, they may put their hand in their mouth. They may play with a toy. They may have a teething ring or something of that nature. And it's quite okay for your child to cry a little bit. I'm not saying for 30, 40, 50 minutes. That's not what I'm saying. But some parents, every time the child cries, they jump, right? That's not what you have to do. If your child is safe, which is where you come in, parent, where you're assessing the environment to make sure that the child is safe and all of that good stuff, then you know that it is okay. It is okay. Cry is going to be different. The cry may be where you're going out of their sight, right? That is a cry because they want the connection. The connection has to be there. So the cry may be different than a hungry cry, right? And this is where you will begin, just like your child knows you, you'll begin to know your child. And so I just really want to share that because often parents don't think it's okay for their child to cry, all right? Or that's the baby. Now, I want to talk about toddlers. And again, these videos are meant to be informative and to assist you to know that it's okay. You're doing a great job as a parent, and that it's not an issue if your child cries. I mean, I've seen that where a grandparent comes to the rescue, oh, the baby shouldn't cry. No, the baby is okay. Because why? They're different types of cries. All right. That's what I want to instill and make sure that I'm very clear that I am not saying that your child should cry for excessive amounts of time. However, it is okay for your child, or i.e. baby, to cry. All right. And it's based off of development and the needs of the child. So just make sure that you know that it is okay for your baby to cry. I'm telling you, because I've seen this through the years. and as a parent myself, how are you? Let's talk about it for a moment. How are you going to get anything done if your child has to learn to self-soothe? How can you get anything done? You have to get things done. Parent, I'm talking to you. New mom, I'm talking to you. If the baby, you just fed the baby, we know the things to do, right? The child wakes up. Let me give you a scenario. Child wakes up from nap. Okay, great. Hi, you're talking to your baby, you're spending time, you're engaging, you're changing your child. And the next thing you often do is feed your child. Those two basic needs that have been met and the environment is safe. If you walk away to go put the clothes in the dryer and they start crying, it is okay. But I have to say that because I was there as a parent myself, but developmentally, I want to also talk to you all that it is okay. I often say this. Every parent needs a parenting class because you need to know you need to know developmentally where your child is, and that is okay. All right. So your baby may cry. Your toddler is going to cry. All right. That does not mean that is their way of expressing. Oftentimes, infants, toddlers, of course, they don't have the language. So if they don't have the language, what are they going to do? They're going to make sounds to communicate. And that sound is often a cry or some type of cry or some type of sound that may sound, it's not, may sound disgruntled. Think about you as an adult, right? Children are little people. That's what they are. They're little people. All right. So when you say, that is still an expression. And so when the child is saying, because you walked away, or because you took the toy, it's still an expression. It's just an expression of their feelings. And so I want to share this because oftentimes parents feel bad, that the child is crying. No, this is the way that they express themselves. Thank you for saying that, Wanda. I appreciate that. It is the way that they express themselves. And so I just want to share this, parents, because I want you to understand it's okay. It's okay for your child to cry. It's okay for your child to be upset. These are natural emotions that they are trying to work through. It is our job as the caregiver, as the parent, to assist them with walking through these emotions and understanding that their emotions are valid, but they must be expressed and done in a specific way. Now, I'm not talking about the infant who doesn't have the critical thinking skills. I'm talking now toddlers, where the toddler may be upset, but at the same time, I understand you're upset. I'm okay with you crying, but I'm not okay with you throwing or something of that nature. But I want to address that it is okay for your child to cry. And oftentimes parents don't understand that. You think that that you're not meeting the need of the child because the child is crying. And that is not the case. Okay, that is not the case. I'm not talking or referring to a child who may be colicky, but I do want to encourage parents, just because your child may have a special need or a delay of some sort, don't negate that they are still developing. Whether they're developing a little slower than normal or not, that doesn't negate that they're going to cry. And that you still have to give them the opportunity to be able to develop in a healthy manner. You never want your child to be completely self-sufficient on you. Or hear me when I say this. If the child can pick up a toy, but they can't put it away yet because they don't have the muscles to do so, the gross motor skills to do so, but they can pinch it. They can pick it up. They can pick up a little bit here. They have fine motor, but they don't have gross. So fine motor are your fingers, your tiny, all these little muscles you use every day, parents, but they don't have the gross to push it up and lift it above their heads. The gross is you using these muscles. All right. And so if they have the fine motor to pick it up, allow the child to pick it up. So that's what I'm saying. the developmental skills that they do have are the ones you want to not take away from them. The ones that they don't have are the ones you want to continue to work on. All right. So if the child is crying because you walked away, but they have a toy in their hand, but they just want you, that does not mean that it's not okay that they cry. Right. So developmentally, they can pick up, but they can't push up. So fine, gross. All right. And so I'm sharing this information because it is okay for your child to express themselves through crying. That is a natural emotion. That is something that we all have. That is something that we all will do as people and should do. It should just be done in a healthy manner. But to feel like you as the parent aren't doing something correctly because the child cries is what I want to address. Okay, so 12 to 18 months, they're going to cry a lot. All right. They are trying to figure out the world around them. And so I know I touched infants briefly, but they're going to have different cries as an infant. Even 12 to 18 months is still considered an infant. All right. Up to the age of 2 is considered an infant, even though they're like toddlers. They're toddlers. They're just, they're in between, infancy and like pre-K. So that 2 to 3, that even 12 to 18 months to me is just they're toddlers because they're moving more, they're more active. But it is okay if your child cries. All right. And so I want parents to understand that, because that is the way, again, that a child expresses themselves. Even if a child, now I'm not, again, you will understand your child's cries. You will know whether it's a healthy cry or if it's a cry of despair, like literal despair. So you can understand by the way the language is, even within the cry. And so that's what I want to encourage you all as parents to know, that the cries will differ. All right. There's a cry for hurt. There's a cry if you're hungry. And even in those cries, just continue to encourage more language skills in regards to what they are trying to express. All right. So if your child is crying and you ask the question, what is it? Or something of that nature, not if it's an emergency, but just in general. And you say, hey, what is wrong? What are you hungry? Are you sad? These are the ways that you get to make sure that they are comprehending what you're saying, and that they begin to use their language to coincide with the crying. All right. So I wanted to share that with you, but absolutely, emphatically, it is okay for your child to cry. Now, I know that a lot of people are going to be like, but again, it is okay. You need to relax as a parent. I understand a new parent. I see this a lot with new parents, where they think that, and I was a new parent myself. So I know how it is, every little thing but no, calm down. Your baby is okay. Your baby's okay. Your child is okay. Your toddler's okay if they cry. So I wanted to make this to go along with just everything that we're doing. I'll be dropping new videos probably once a month right now, but I want you to know it's okay for your child to cry. It's okay, because think about it, even especially 2-year-olds, if the parent walks away and they're in a new environment, parents, what do you think? They're going to cry. The thing is, don't make it harder for you or the child by making it like very drawn out. Okay. If you make it too drawn out, okay, let me give you an example. They're going with grandma, normally a grandma, grandpa, or maybe they are going to a new school or going to childcare. When you drop them off, encourage them, start talking to them ahead of time about what's going to transpire. Trust me, they are listening. So, you're going to a new school, or you're going to daycare today, whatever you want to call it, childcare, and you're going to go see your friends. Now, when they get to the door, they may not be feeling that, okay? They may not be feeling it, all right? They just may be like, man, what just happened? So I want to share that with you. They may just not want to, hold on. Oh man. Okay. They may did my okay. Let me hope I come back on here. Okay, they really may not want to they just may not want to be there, or they may have a moment. Don't you have moments when you're in school or when you're at work? So just know that they may not want to be there at that moment, and it's okay. But it's okay if your child has a moment and cries, but don't make it like excessively drawn out, parents, because then you're emotional, the child is emotional, and we're just trying to diffuse the situation. Okay. So I want to share these tips and tools. Thank you for coming in and taking a look and listening to what we have to offer you here with Enrichment on the Go. But please know that it is okay for your baby to cry. If you want to drop a comment, or if you decide you want to have questions, you can always reach out to us or leave a comment. But emphatically, yes, it's okay for your child to cry. All right. So have a wonderful day. Continue to be a good parent. All right. And do the best you can to raise a happy, healthy, and whole child. All right.